Welcome back to Squawk Box this morning. Shares of Intel jumped overnight after the company confirmed the appointment of David Zinsner as the company's CFO. He was most recently the CFO of Micron Technology, and Intel's current CFO, George Davis, is going to be retiring from Intel in May. But, Joe, maybe the bigger news is this back and forth between Rubio and Intel.
You mean we have a new section now, Andrew? It's our new Profiles in Courage section. Separately, Intel has deleted references to China's Xinjiang province from an annual letter to suppliers. This is really something. After the company faced backlash in China, and I understand, it's the reality. It's a huge market. What are you going to do? Last month, in a letter to suppliers posted on its website, Intel wrote that it had, in its words, been required to ensure that its supply chain does not use any labor or source goods or services from this region, the Xinjiang region, following restrictions imposed by multiple governments. But according to Reuters' review of that letter, that paragraph has now been deleted, along with any reference to Xinjiang whatsoever or China. The letter now says, generically, that the company prohibits any human-trafficked or involuntary labor such as forced, debt-bonded, prison-indentured, or slave labor throughout its extended supply chains. And the change to Intel's letter drew a rebuke from Senator Marco Rubio, who said in a statement, Intel's cowardice, yet another, and this is what I was saying, another predictable consequence of an economic reliance on China. The U.S. has accused China of widespread human rights abuses in Xinjiang. That's the home to the country's predominantly Muslim Uyghurs. And Beijing has repeatedly denied the claims. But, Intel saying, we had to say it because they made us, because it's part of the law. And nobody's without.
But the most interesting thing that Rubio said, though, was not just that he was upset with them on the rhetoric or jawboning side. He basically said that Intel shouldn't be eligible to be part of the CHIPS program, which would effectively subsidize Intel and others to create semiconductors here in the United States as a result of not speaking out more publicly. And that's where this gets, to me, from a business perspective, really complicated, because then you have politics. Look, we've seen this with voting rights in Georgia, where companies like Delta and others were denied tax benefits because of the position that they took. Now it's being applied in a different way to a company potentially like Intel in the context of China. And so, boy, are you stuck between a rock and a hard place if you're the CEO of Intel this morning.